Good evening, and welcome to Footnotes Folly. I am Professor Reginald St. John Pemberton, and tonight we open one of Shakespeare's most dazzling and most peculiar early comedies, Lost Labour's Lost. We give you the whole of it, complete and unabridged, in clear modern English. The plain rendering and the asides are my own. This is part 1. We begin in the park of the young King of Navarre, who has had a grand idea. He and 3 of his lords will forswear the world for 3 whole years, little food, little sleep, and, above all, no women, and turn the court into a little academy of study. The merry baron signs the oath while telling them plainly it cannot last. And no sooner is the ink dry than the world comes knocking at a clown court with a dairymaid, a love-struck Spaniard, and fatal to the whole scheme the daughter of the King of France, arriving with 3 beautiful ladies on serious business of state. Watch how fast a vow can melt. Let us begin.
Ferdinand, King of Navarre, enters with Baron, Longueville, and Dumaine. Let fame, which all men chase through life, live written on our bronze-covered tombs, and then give us honor even in death's disgrace. Though greedy, devouring time consumes everything, the effort of our present lives may buy an honor that blunts the sharp edge of his scythe, and makes us heirs to eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are when you make war against your own desires and against the great army of the world's temptations, our recent decree shall stand firmly in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall become a little academy, quiet, thoughtful, and devoted to the living art of study. You 3, Baron Dumaine and Longueville, have sworn to live with me for 3 years, as my fellow scholars, and to keep the statutes written here in the schedule. Your oaths are already made, now sign your names, so that any man who breaks even the smallest clause here may strike down his own honor by his own hand. If you are armed to do what you swore to do, sign your solemn oaths, and keep them too. I am resolved. It is only a 3 years' fast. The mind shall feast, though the body grows thin. Fat bellies make lean brains, and delicate morsels may enrich the ribs, but they leave the wits bankrupt. Longueville signs. My loving lord Dumaine has put worldly appetite to death. The heavier pleasures of this world he throws back upon the base slaves of the coarse world. As for love, wealth, and pomp, I will pine and die to them, while living fully in philosophy. Dumaine signs. I can only repeat their promise. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn, to live and study here for 3 years. But there are other strict observances, not to see a woman during that time, which I very much hope is not written there, and 1 day each week to touch no food, and on every other day to eat only 1 meal, which I also hope is not written there, and then to sleep only 3 hours at night, and not be seen to wink all day, when I was used to thinking no harm all night, and making half the day into dark night too. I hope that is not written there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep, not to see ladies, to study, to fast, and not to sleep. Your oath is sworn, you have sworn to pass away from these things. Let me say no, my liege, if you please. I only swore to study with your grace, and to stay here in your court for 3 years. You swore to that, Baron, and to the rest. Yes and no, sir. Then I swore in jest. Tell me, what is the purpose of study? Why, to know what otherwise we would not know. You mean things hidden and barred from common sense? Yes. That is study's godlike reward. Come then, I will swear to study in that way, to know the thing I am forbidden to know. For example, to study where I may dine well when I am expressly forbidden to feast, or to study where I may meet some fine mistress, when mistresses are hidden from common sense, or, having sworn an oath too hard to keep, to study how to break it without breaking my faith. If study gains that, and this is so, then study knows what it does not yet know. Swear me to this, and I will never say no. These are the obstacles that stop study altogether, and train our minds toward empty pleasures. Why, all pleasures are empty, but that is emptiest which is bought with pain and then inherits pain. It is painful to pore over a book to seek the light of truth, while truth meanwhile falsely blinds the eyes that look for it. Light seeking light cheats light of light, so before you find where light lies hidden in darkness, your own light grows dark from losing your eyes. Teach me instead how to please the eye truly, fix it on a fairer eye, one so dazzling that it becomes the eye's guide, and gives it back the light by which it had been blinded. Study is like the glorious sun in heaven. It will not be deeply searched by bold, insolent looks. Constant plotters have one little, except low authority borrowed from other men's books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights, who give a name to every fixed star, profit no more from those shining nights than people who walk under them and do not know what they are. To know too much is to know nothing but fame, and every godfather can give a name. How well read he is to reason against reading. He has proceeded well to stop all good proceeding. He weeds the corn and still lets the weeds grow. Spring is near when green geese are breeding. How does that follow? It fits in its place and time. In reason it fits nothing. Then it fits something in rhyme. Baron is like an envious nipping frost that bites the first, born children of spring. Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I rejoice in any birth that comes before its time? At Christmas I no more desire a rose than I wish for snow in the new fashions of May. I like each thing that grows in its season. So you, by taking up study now when it is too late, are climbing over the house to unlock the little gate. Well, sit this out then. Go home, Baron. Farewell. No, my good lord. I have sworn to stay with you, and though I have spoken more for barbarism than you can say for that angel knowledge, still I am confident I will keep what I have sworn, and endure the penance of every day in these 3 years. Give me the paper, let me read it, and I will write my name to the strictest decrees. How well this yielding rescues you from shame. Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Has this been proclaimed? 4 days ago. Let us see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty? Why, I did. Sweet lord, and why? To frighten them away with that dreadful penalty. A dangerous law against gentlewomen. Item, if any man is seen speaking with a woman during the term of 3 years, he shall suffer whatever public shame the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, you yourself must break, for you know well that the French king's daughter is coming here as an ambassador to speak with you, a lady full of grace and complete majesty, about surrendering Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, bedridden father. Therefore this article is made in vain, or the admired princess comes here in vain. What do you say, lords? Why, this was completely forgotten. So study always overshoots its mark. While it studies to get what it wants, it forgets to do what it should, and when it has the thing it hunts most, it is one like towns taken by fire, won and lost at once. We must, by necessity, make an exception to this decree. She must lodge here out of sheer necessity. Necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times in these 3 years. Every man is born with his own affections. They are mastered not by force, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn through sheer necessity. So to these broad laws, I write my name, and whoever breaks them in the least degree stands condemned to eternal shame. Temptations come to others as they come to me, but I believe, though I seem so unwilling, I am the last who will keep his oath to the last. Your own signs. But is there no quick recreation allowed? Yes, there is. Our court, as you know, is haunted by a polished traveller from Spain, a man planted in all the newest fashions of the world, with a mint of phrases in his brain, one who is ravished by the music of his own vain tongue as if it were enchanting harmony, a man of elaborate courtesies, whom right and wrong have chosen as umpire in their quarrel. This child of fancy, called Armado, shall, in the intervals of our studies, tell us in high-born words the worth of many a knight from tawny Spain, lost in the debates of the world. How you may delight in him, my lords, I do not know, but I confess I love to hear him lie, and I will use him as my minstrel. Armado is a most illustrious creature, a man of brand, new words fashion's own knight. Costard the countryman, and he shall be our sport, and so with that 3 years of study will seem short. Dull, a constable enters with a letter, bringing Costard with him. Which one is the Duke himself? This is he, fellow. What do you want? I myself have come to apprehend his own person, for I am his Grace's constable. But I would like to see his own person in flesh and blood. This is he. Signor R. Marm sends his respects to you. There is wickedness abroad. This letter will tell you more. Sir, the contents of it are matters that touch me. A letter from the magnificent Armado. However long the matter is, I hope to God it has lofty words. A high hope for a low subject. God give us patience. Patience to listen, or patience to keep from laughing. To listen meekly, sir, and to laugh moderately, or else to do neither. Well, sir, let it be as the style gives us cause to climb into merriment. The matter concerns me, sir, as touching Jaquenetta. The manner of it is this: I was taken in the manner. In what manner? In manner and form following, sir, all 3 of those. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and then taken following her into the park. Put together, that is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner, it is the manner of a man to speak to a woman. As for the form, why, in some form. For the following, sir? That shall follow in my correction, and God defend the right. Will you hear this letter with attention? As we would hear an oracle. Such is man's simplicity to listen after matters of the flesh. Great deputy, heaven's vice, regent, and sole ruler of Navarre, God of my soul's earth, and nourishing patron of my body. Not a word of Costard yet. So it is. It may be so, but if he says it is so, then in telling the truth he is only so. Peace. He speak to me, and to every man who dares not fight. No words. No words of other men's secrets, I beg you. So it is, beseeched by black, colored melancholy, I entrusted that dark, oppressive mood to the wholesome medicine of your health, giving air, and as I am a gentleman, I took myself out walking. Time when? About the 6th hour, when beasts graze most, birds peck best, and men sit down to that nourishment called supper. So much for the time when. Now for the ground which? By which I mean the ground I walked upon. It is called your park. Then for the place where? Where I mean I encountered that obscene and most unnatural event which draws from my snow-white pen the ebony, colored ink that you here view, behold, survey, or see. But to the place where? It stands north, northeast, and by east from the west corner of your carefully knotted garden. There I saw that low-spirited rustic, that base little minnow of your mirth. Me? That unlettered, little, knowing soul. Me? That shallow vassal. Still me. Who, as I remember, is called Costard. Oh me! Joined in keeping company, contrary to your established proclaimed edict and strict rule, which but I am pained to say with what? With a wench. With a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for your sweeter understanding, a woman. I, as my ever-esteemed duty urges me on, have sent him to you to receive the reward of punishment by your sweet grace's officer, Antony Dull, a man of good reputation, carriage, bearing, and estimation. Me, if it please you, I am Antony Dull. As for Jaquenetta, so the weaker vessel is called whom I apprehended with the aforesaid swain, I keep her as a vessel for your law's fury, and at the least sign of your sweet notice, I shall bring her to trial. Yours, in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty, Don Adriano de Armado. This is not as good as I expected, but it is the best I ever heard. Yes, the best of the worst. But fellow, what do you say to this? Sir, I confess the wench. Did you hear the proclamation? I confess to much of hearing it, but very little of noticing it. It was proclaimed that any man taken with a wench should be imprisoned for a year. I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel. Well, damsel was proclaimed too. She was no damsel either, sir, she was a virgin. That was included as well, for virgin was proclaimed. If it was, I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid. This maid will not serve your turn, sir. This maid will serve my turn, sir. Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast for a week on bran and water. I would rather pray for a month on mutton and porridge. And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My Lord Baron, see him delivered over, and we, my lords, will go put into practice what each of us has so strongly sworn to the others. King, Longueville, and Dumaine leave. I will lay my head against any good man's hat that these oaths and laws will prove an idle mockery. Fellow, come on. I suffer for the truth, sir, for true it is that I was taken with Jaquenetta, and Jaquenetta is a true girl. Therefore, welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again. Until then, sit down, sorrow. They leave. Armado enters in the park with Moth, his page. Boy, what sign is it when a man of high spirit grows melancholy? A great sign, sir, that he will look sad. Why, sadness and melancholy are one and the very same thing, dear imp. No, no, good lord, sir, no. How can you separate sadness from melancholy, my tender young one? By a plain example of how they work, my tough Signor. Why tough Signor? Why tough Signor? Why tender young one? Why tender young one? I called you tender young one as a fitting description belonging to your young days, which we may call tender. And I called you tough Signor as a fitting title for your old time, which we may call tough. Pretty and apt. What do you mean, sir? That I am pretty in my saying apt, or that I am apt in my saying pretty? You are pretty because you are little. Little pretty because little. Why apt? And therefore apt because quick. Do you say this in my praise, master? In your deserved praise. I will praise an eel with the same praise. What, that an eel is clever? That an eel is quick? I say you are quick in answers. You warm my blood. Then I am answered, sir. I do not love to be crossed. Aside. He says the exact contrary. Crosses do not love him. I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke. You may do it in an hour, sir. Impossible. How many is one told 3 times? I am bad at counting. That suits the spirit of a tavern keeper. You are a gentleman and a gambler, sir. I confess both. Both are the polish of a complete man. Then I am sure you know what the total of douces comes to. It comes to 1 more than 2, which the common people call 3. True. Why, sir, is that such a piece of study? See, here are 3 studied before you can wink 3 times. And how easy it is to put years after the word 3 and study 3 years in 2 words. Even the dancing horse could tell you that. A most fine figure. Aside. To prove you a 0. On this, I will confess that I am in love. And since it is low for a soldier to love, so I am in love with a low wench. If drawing my sword against the mood of affection would free me from the damned thought of it, I would take Desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a newly invented bow. I scorn to sigh, I think I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy. What great men have been in love? Hercules, master. Most sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy, nay more. And sweet child, let them be men of good reputation and carriage. Samson, master. He was a man of good carriage, great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love. A well-knit Samson, strong, jointed Samson. I surpass you in my rapier as much as you surpass me in carrying gates. I too am in love. Who was Samson's love, my dear Moth? A woman, master. Of what complexion? Of all 4, or 3, or 2, or one of the 4. Tell me exactly what complexion. See, water green, sir. Is that one of the 4 complexions? So I have read, sir, and the best of them too. Green indeed is the color of lovers. But to have a love of that color, I think Samson had small reason for it. Surely he loved her for her wit. It was so, sir, for she had a green wit. My love is most spotless white and red. Most spotted thoughts, master, are masked under such colors. Define it, well-educated infant. May my father's wit and my mother's tongue help me. If she is made of white and red, her faults will never be known, for faults breed blushing cheeks and fears show pale white. Then if she is afraid, or is to blame, you shall not know it by this, for her cheeks always keep the very colors that nature gave her. A dangerous rhyme, master, against the argument of white and red. Is there not a ballad, boy, of the king and the beggar? The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages ago, but I think now it is not to be found, or if it were, it would serve neither for the words nor for the tune. I will have that subject written over again, so that I may justify my wandering by some mighty precedent. Boy, I love that country girl I caught in the park with a rational farm on Costard. She deserves well. Aside. To be whipped, and yet she is a better love than my master. Sing, boy. My spirit grows heavy in love. And that is a great marvel, loving a light wench. I say, sing. Wait until this company is past. Costard the clown enters with Dull the constable and Jaquenetta, a wench. Sir, the Duke's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must allow him no pleasure, and no other punishment, but he must fast 3 days a week. As for this damsel, I must keep her at the park. She is appointed as the dairy woman. Fare you well. I betray myself by blushing. Maid. Man. I will visit you at the lodge. That is nearby. I know where it is situated. Lord, how wise you are! I will tell you wonders. With that face? I love you. So I heard you say. And so farewell. Fair weather after you. Come, Jaquenetta, away. Dull and Jaquenetta exit. Villain, you shall fast for your offences before you are pardoned. Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach. You shall be heavily punished. I am more bound to you than your fellows are, for they are only lightly rewarded. Take this villain away. Shut him up. Come, you trespassing slave, away. Do not pen me up, sir. I will fast while loose. No, sir, that would be fast and loose. You shall go to prison. Well, if ever I see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see. What shall some see? No, nothing, Master Moth, except what they look at. It is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God I have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet. Moth and Costard exit. I do love the very ground, which is base where her shoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, treads. I shall be forsworn, which is a great proof of falsehood, if I love. And how can that be true love which is undertaken falsely? Love is a familiar spirit. Love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet Samson was tempted so, and he had excellent strength. Yet Solomon was seduced so, and he had very good wit. Cupid's blunt arrow is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore far too unequal a match for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and second causes will not serve my turn. The passado he does not respect, the duello he does not regard. His disgrace is to be called boy, but his glory is to subdue men. Farewell, courage, rust rapier. Be still, drum, for your master is in love. Yes, he loves. Assist me, some sudden god of rhyme, for I am sure I shall turn sonnet maker. Invent wit, write pen, for I am ready for whole volumes in folio. Armado exits. The Princess of France enters the park of the King of Navarre, attended by Rosaline, Maria, Catherine, Boyet, and 2 other lords. A pavilion and tent stand at some distance. Now, madam, call up your best and brightest spirits. Consider who it is the king your father sends, to whom he sends her, and what message she carries. He sends you, treasured in the world's opinion, to speak with the one air of every perfection a man may possess, matchless Navarre. And the matter is no light one, Aquitaine, a dowry fit for a queen. Be as lavish now with every precious grace as nature was when she made graces precious, starving the rest of the world while she spent them all on you. Good Lord Boyet, my beauty, modest as it is, needs no painted flourish from your praise. Beauty is bought by the judgment of the eye, not sold cheap by merchants' tongues. I am less proud to hear you tell me what I am worth than you are eager to be thought wise for spending your wit in praising mine. But now I must set the tasker to his task. Good Boyet, you know as well as anyone that talkative fame has spread abroad that Navarre has made a vow. Until hard study has worn out 3 years, no woman may come near his silent court. Therefore it seems necessary, before we enter his forbidden gates, to learn his pleasure. Trusting in your worth, we choose you as our best and fairest spokesman. Tell him the daughter of the King of France, on serious business requiring quick dispatch, urgently requests a personal meeting with his grace. Go quickly, tell him so while we wait like humble-faced petitioners for his high decision. Proud to be employed, I go willingly. All pride is willing pride, and yours is that. Boyet exits. My loving lords, who are these vowed companions who keep oath with this virtuous duke? Lord Longueville is one. Do you know the man? I know him, madam. At a marriage feast in Normandy, between Lord Perigord and the beautiful heir of Jacques Falconbridge, I saw this Longueville. He is counted a man of excellent gifts, well trained in learning and glorious in arms. Nothing looks bad in him when he means to do well. The only stain on the bright polish of his virtue, if virtue's polish can take any stain, is that his sharp wit is joined to too blunt a will. Its edge can cut, and his will still wills that it spare no one who comes within its power. Some merry mocking lord, I suppose. Is that so? Those who know his moods best say so most. Such short-lived wits wither even while they grow. Who are the rest? Young Dumaine, an accomplished youth, loved by all who love virtue for virtue's sake. He has the greatest power to do harm, and the least knowledge of evil, for he has wit enough to make an ugly thing seem good, and looks enough to win favor even if he had no wit. I saw him once at the Duke of Lincoln's, and what I saw was so good that my report, saying far too little, cannot match his great worth. Another of these students was there with him then, if I have heard the truth. They call him Baron, but within the proper bounds of becoming mirth, I never spent an hour's talk with a merrier man. His eye creates occasions for his wit. Every object the one catches, the other turns into a jest that moves laughter. His fair tongue, the interpreter of his imagination, delivers it in such apt and graceful words that old ears play truant to listen to his tales, and younger hearers are completely delighted, so sweet and nimble is his speech. God bless my ladies! Are they all in love, that each one has decorated her own man with such ornaments of praise? Here comes Boyet. Boyet enters. Well, lord, what admission do we have? Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his sworn companions were already prepared to meet you, gentle lady, before I came. Still, I have learned this much. He means to lodge you out in the field, as if you came to besiege his court, rather than seek a dispensation from his oath, and let you enter his empty house. Here comes Navarre. The King of Navarre enters with Longueville, Dumaine, Biron, and attendants. Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre. Fair I give back to you, and welcome I have not yet received. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields is too low to be mine. You shall be welcome, madam, to my court. Then, I will be welcome. Leave me there. Hear me, dear lady. I have sworn an oath. Our Lady help my lord. He will break his oath. Not for the world, fair madam, not by my will. Why, will shall break it, will, and nothing else. Your ladyship does not know what it is. If my lord did not know, his ignorance would be wisdom. As it is, his knowledge must prove ignorance. I hear your grace has sworn away hospitality. It is a deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and yet a sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too suddenly bold. It does not become me to teach a teacher. Please read the purpose of my coming, and quickly answer my request. She gives him a paper. Madam, I will, if I can do it quickly. You will do it sooner so that I may be gone, for you will be forsworn if you make me stay. The king reads the paper. To Rosaline. Did I not dance with you once in Brabant? Did I not dance with you once in Brabant? I know you did. Then how needless it was to ask the question. You must not be so quick. It is your fault for spurring me with such questions. Your wit is too hot, it runs too fast and will tire. Not until it leaves the rider in the mud. How time of day is it? The hour when fools should ask. Then may good fortune fall on your mask. May good fortune fall on the face it covers. And send you many lovers. Amen, as long as you are none. No? Then I will be gone. Madam, your father here speaks of the payment of 100,000 crowns, which is only 1/2 of the full sum my father spent in his wars. But suppose that he or we had received that sum, as neither of us has, there would still remain another 100,000 unpaid, and as security for it, one part of Aquitaine is pledged to us, though it is not worth the money. If the king your father will now restore only the half that remains unpaid, we will give up our right in Aquitaine, and keep fair friendship with his majesty. But that, it seems, he has little intention of doing, for here he demands that 100,000 crowns be repaid to him, and does not demand, on his own payment of 100,000 crowns, to keep his title alive in Aquitaine. We would much rather part with Aquitaine, and have the money my father lent than hold Aquitaine, so reduced as it is. Dear princess, if his requests were not so far from what reason can yield, your fair self would make something in my breast yield even against reason, and you would go back well satisfied to France. You wrong the king my father too much, and wrong the reputation of your own name, by refusing so improperly to acknowledge receipt of what has been so faithfully paid. I protest I never heard of it, and if you prove it, I will repay the money or yield up Aquitaine. We hold you to your word. Boyet, you can produce receipts for such a sum from Charles's special officers. Satisfy me so. If it please your grace, the packet has not arrived in which that and other documents are bound. Tomorrow you shall see them. That will satisfy me. At that meeting I will yield to every generous reason. In the meantime, receive from my hand such welcome as honor, without breach of honor, may offer to your true worth. You may not come, fair princess, inside my gates, but here outside you shall be received so well that you will think yourself lodged in my heart, though denied fair harbor in my house. Let your own good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow we will visit you again. Sweet health and fair desires attend your grace. The wish you give me, I wish for you in every place. The King Longueville and Dumaine exit. Lady, I will commend you to my own heart. Please do send my greetings, I would be glad to see it. I wish you could hear it groan. Is the fool sick? Sick at the heart. Alas, then let it bleed. Would that do it good? My medicine says yes. Will you prick it with your eye? Non-point with my knife. Now God save your life. And yours from long living. I cannot stay to give thanks. Biron exits. Dumain enters. Sir, I pray you a word. What lady is that one? The heir of Alençon, Catherine is her name. A gallant lady. Monsieur, farewell. Dumain exits. Longueville enters. I beg you, a word. Who is she in white? A woman sometimes if you saw her in the light. Perhaps light in the light. I desire her name. She has only one for herself. To desire that would be a shame. Please, sir, whose daughter is she? Her mother's, I have heard. God bless your beard. Good sir, do not be offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge. No, my anger is ended. She is a most sweet lady. Not unlikely, sir, that may be. Longueville exits. Biron enters. What is her name, the one in the cap? Rosaline, by good luck. Is she married or no? To her own will, sir, or something like it. You are welcome, sir. Adieu. Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you. Biron exits. That last one is Biron, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him, but a jest. And every jest is only a word. It was well done of you to take him at his word. I was as willing to grapple as he was to board. 2 hot ships indeed. And why not ships? No sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips. You are sheep and I am pasture. Shall that finish the jest? If you grant me pasture. He tries to kiss her. Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common land, though they are separate. To whom do they belong? To my fortunes and me. Good wits will keep jangling, but gentle friends agree. This civil war of wits would be much better used against Navarre and his bookman. Here it is wasted. If my observation, which very seldom lies, is not deceived now by the heart's silent rhetoric revealed through the eyes, Navarre is infected. With what? With what we lovers call being affected. Your reason. Why, all his behavior retreated to the court of his eye and peeped out through desire. His heart, like an agate stone engraved with your image, was proud of that form and showed its pride in his eye. His tongue, impatient to speak, and yet not stop seeing, stumbled in its haste to live in his sight. All his senses repaired to that one sense, to feel only by looking on the fairest of the fair. I thought all his senses were locked in his eye, like jewels in crystal set out for some prince to buy, and those jewels, valuing themselves because of where they were displayed, pointed at you as you passed, asking you to buy them. The margin of his face was written over with such amazement that every eye could see his eyes enchanted by gazing. I will give you Aquitaine, and all that is his, if for my sake you give him one loving kiss. Come to our pavilion. Boy, it is in a mood. Only in the mood to put into words what his eye has revealed. I have merely made a mouth of his eye by adding a tongue, and that tongue, I know, will not lie. You are an old dealer in love, and you speak skillfully. He is Cupid's grandfather, and gets his news from him. Then Venus must have been like her mother, for her father is only grim. Do you hear me, my wild girls? No. What then do you see? Yes, our way to be gone. You are too hard for me. They all exit.
There we pause, with every oath already in mortal danger. The king swore no woman should come within a mile of his court, and now the French princess is camped on his doorstep, and he has had to lodge her in the field rather than break his vow outright, all the while unable to take his eyes off her. His lords are in no better case, each has marked a lady, and the Spaniard Armado, who was meant to be their entertainment, is himself sighing over the country wench Jaquenetta. Next time, in Part 2, Love Letters That Go Astray, a king and his lords each court writing secret sonnets, and the merriest exposure in all of Shakespeare. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.